It's my room. I'm top energy.
Is this going to go into our Patreon?
Oh yeah, that reminds me. We're starting out. No, fuck that. What would we need what would we need a Patreon for? Oh, we just want money.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly what a Patreon's for.
Yeah, but you do that later on.
Yeah, you do it when you have a business to sustain.
1 second. Let me check our established listeners.
Us! It's here! All of us are in the studio!
We have 8 established listeners. Yeah. Now,
Hey, also 8 and growing.
Yeah.
I mean, on Spotify, our most played episode was the recent one.
Can our fans be known as, like, the
Fans, do you hear this guy?
The 8 fans.
Do you hear this schmuck over here? Our fans.
Shut up. We'll be showers, not growers.
I know they're 8 and growing, so they're growers.
Oh, yeah, they're just growers. That's all they are.
What's up, my growers?
Now, I'm about to break our hearts here because I'm going to check the retention time on YouTube.
Oh, shit. Most of them are going to be me listening for 10 minutes and then turning it off.
I swear to Christ, if that's it, I'm going to jump over this mic and fucking bash it. Okay, watch time. Okay.
I swear to fuck it was actually is.
Audience.
I mean, it probably would be.
Engagement. Where's retention? I always forget how to do this. I think I go into the recent one. View more. Watch time. Audience retention for the recent one is 9 minutes and 13 seconds.
9 minutes. That's me. Wait, is it though?
That's 9%. What are you talking about? I was already there.
True. Yeah.
Then episode 0.
Sorry, that felt a little harsh.
Episode.
No, it's okay.
Don't worry, that was last week's episode. We're over that now.
Mental health isn't a thing.
Yeah, that's the title of this one. It's over. We did it, guys.
Oh, it's like
The audience retention for episode 0. Who wants to guess? The little bonus pre-show game.
20 minutes.
13.
3 minutes.
Oh! For episode 0?
Yeah. Okay. So
I
now
guess that's a shit one.
okay. Now for episode 1 with 51 views. Let's see how many of that was. Okay. So what's everyone's guess?
5 minutes.
7.
It's 3 again. We did it, guys. People's paying attention for a whole 3
Wait
minutes.
a minute. That means the third one gave us longer. Oh, that's probably just me though, because I watched it like 3 times.
So wait, who's actually listening right now?
Us.
Ceaseless watcher. Oh, spoilers. Okay, now we can actually begin. Now that we got that heartbreak out, going. How's it going?
Hey, it's going good.
Again, talk into the mic, not beside the mic.
I don't know. I'm trying to. Okay.
Assistant. This is why we hired you. He's having mic troubles.
Oh wow! Instantly called out the person in the room.
I'm sorry, guys. We got an intern in today.
Hey, can you pull that up? Pull that up.
But yeah, this episode is recorded in front of a live audience member.
Woo! You suck!
Okay. Well.
Okay, well, we're never doing that again.
We're gonna have to kick him out later.
Yeah, okay. It's not funny. And we thought it'd be funny, but no. You ruined my day. Anyway, how are you doing? Forget about him.
Good.
I can already tell that this episode is gonna be chaos, but sometimes that's just what we need.
Whoa.
But yeah, no, we're recording this one live in front of an intern who's taking down notes as we speak.
Yeah.
Nah, he's just trying to steal our format for his own thing that I won't disclose. It's funny because right now, with the tripod, there's a shadow in front of your face, and you look really. You see it?
I mean,
this is great for a visual form.
or
audio form. God damn it.
Don't worry, they'll see us pointing in the few frames in the time lapse.
it's the few parts in the time lapse that it's like unseeable. Like it's just not there.
Yeah, he's not actually here. Who knows? Maybe Mike can't even pick him up at all. But yeah, this week we're going to be talking about the internet.
Yeah. ASDF movie sound. I'm gonna do an internet.
Know what it
Whoa.
spells up in the ceiling? Gullible.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's your name.
My lungs. Oh yeah, gullible boy bro.
I've always wanted to ask, where did that name come from?
It came up when I was in Japan, and what you call it? One of my friends, or I can't remember what exactly we were talking about, but they basically called me super gullible because anything they said, I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and they were like, "No, I'm fucking joking," and I was like, "Ah, well, that's fucking rude."
So like Jared Leto's Joker, you tattooed it on your forehead, and now you're just owning it.
Yeah, basically, and it's so funny. Well, I like how it rolls off the tongue. Gullible boy, bro. Gullible boy, bro. Gullible boy, bro. Gullible
I thought
boy,
it was bro boy.
Bro boy. Oh, it probably is that. Whoops. I don't even know my own.
You don't even know your own lore. But yeah, no, the reason why I wanted to talk about the internet this week was because in our last episode, I kind of vaguely brought up social media and its just negative connotations and how it affected me and whatnot. But I also want to talk about the good, the bad, and the porn of the internet.
Yeah.
Probably in that order. Because, like...
Can I also mention this is quite the jump from mental health to the good, the bad, the porn? Like, if someone was to listen to these subsequently, right, one after the other, right?
They'd be listening to episode 0 second. Yeah, I know.
That's true.
It's all part of the plan.
That's yeah. It's to trigger people's what's it called?
Flight or fight. We're here just to mess everything up.
Yeah. Our dialogue starts to be slurred and like throughout the entire fucking like episodes that we make, and it's just becoming more batshit insane of just like what's happening.
Jeffrey Bezos is just flashing.
Bezos.
But what was I gonna say? But yeah, no, I want to talk about the internet because I think we grew up in what we call the golden age of the internet, when it was this harmless little thing. You know, it's just a way of life. You know, like I don't think anyone can really live without it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
what can you dictate as the golden? I guess the golden age would be like
machinima.
You can hear a lot of stories from people who were in machinima. And
Yeah,
were like,
but when it was just people, but before it became a corporation.
Oh right, when it's just like a bunch of friends just playing games.
Yeah, like just recording silly stuff and whatnot. But like the golden age was when that. Our intern just said lawless Wild West internet. But yeah, pretty much when when there wasn't as much rules, just anything could go up. It wasn't as policed as much,
Yeah.
Before, terms of service. Like, look at Tumblr before, the porn ban. Like, now Tumblr is dead. It's just... there's no use for the website anymore.
True.
But for me, my golden age on the internet was literally just...
Wait, don't people still get cancelled on Tumblr now?
I wouldn't know.
It's like a cesspool for people who just get cancelled constantly now.
I thought that was just Twitter.
Twitter is that as well. I mean, like, basically, it starts on Tumblr. So imagine 4chan, right? 4chan and Reddit.
I thought Tumblr was where all the witches go.
They can go there too. I've technically found a Reddit where it's like witches versus the patriarchy.
One I found recently was witches versus the Taliban. Did you hear about one the Wisp?
The fuck?
Yeah, did you hear recently?
Yeah.
I was listening to the official podcast and they brought up that some of the witches are trying to hex the Taliban by attacking Allah.
I did see this.
And one of them goes, "Guys, don't astral project yourself and try and fight Allah. He is too strong." I'm not even joking. Like I was listening to it in work and I just had to stop and listen. He's like, "I tried to astral project Allah, but he's too powerful, guys. I'm using healing essences now. We all need to band together and take down Allah." And they brought up in the episodes like, will the Taliban feel Allah's presence gone if they stop them? But it's just that's the part of the internet we're in now. Like 10 years ago, that'd just be a funny story, but there's actually people out there. Like right now, the internet is just this place for everyone. But
yeah,
like years ago when social media was this niche, you'd sign up and you'd be weird about it. Like, oh, I'm gonna add all my friends. Oh, will I feel weird if I add them? Oh, I'm gonna post a funny picture. Will anyone care? And now, it's just before you get to know anyone, you have to add their social media. You have to follow them on everything. It's like to me, Facebook is like a CV for a person now. It's just Yeah,
thought-
I'll add you on Facebook, and then I'll hit you up then. You won't talk after. At first, you have to have a browse at their Facebook, it's just, I don't personally do it, but this is just what I presume. But anyway, as I was, like, LinkedIn, like, that's... Scary thing about LinkedIn, actually, is you can actually see people, like, click and view your profile, like, who it is.
There at the moment, yeah.
Yes, intern says tailored online person, which is true. 10 years ago, it was literally just, there he is, he's just posting about his holiday and whatnot, but then Facebook became Instagram, became Snapchat, became Reddit, became TikTok, became YouTube, it's just evolving in this strange way, where there's literally a platform for literally everyone. Like, I think the central hub of the internet is Reddit. It's something I don't use a lot. I only go on it from time to time, but I don't know, it's weird seeing it metamorphose. Like, it's just, like, when I was... Go ahead.
So I was going to say, like, Reddit is, like, super, like, addictive. Oh, well, like, some Reddits, of course. I mean, some Reddits are, like, boring as fucking shit.
I will confess, the Reddit I've been on the most is Reddit 50/50.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
like, one of these has got to be porn. Turtle mouth.
Like... But, like, I don't know, like, that's another topic I wanted to bring up later on, so I won't skip to that right away, but seeing it metamorphose, like, YouTube was just a place just to literally broadcast yourself, but now it's, like, everyone's dream job. Like, golden age YouTubers, like, you look at PewDiePie, you look at Markiplier, you look at, I don't know other YouTubers, like, back then. I mean, yeah, like, Critical was... literally uploading since then, like that Quap video, Ray William Johnson, Fred. Do I say Shane Dawson?
Yeah.
I mean,
technically, he was a part of it, and he was a scumbag. But...
I mean, like, all the people who were on the first few episodes of the Fine Bros YouTube series. Yeah, I seen you cringe back there.
Oh, Vine. Everyone that's on Vine.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about Vine. I never use Vine.
Me neither. I actually, to be honest, I didn't know it was a site. I thought it was, like... just what you would say is a 6-second video now. And I was like, okay, so that's like Go Boin. That's what Ray William Johnson used to review.
Yeah, Ray William Johnson is just this weird internet anomaly that just will never go away.
He made like shows.
Equals 3. What's happening for him? Here's some funny videos. And then Tosh.0 pretty much turned it into a show. But like, one of the great things about the internet nowadays, though, is if you use it in the right way, educational, like, actually trying to make a difference. Like, most things I learn now are through the internet. Something's like, look at what's happening in Afghanistan. Like, I know we joked about the Taliban, but
out of context.
Yeah, out of context. Yeah, but like what's happening there, like, you're allowed to talk, you don't have to keep throwing notes at me. He's going to keep throwing notes at me.
This is the bit now.
Philip DeFranco, yeah.
Oh yeah. He's Jenna Marbles.
Yeah, but she quit because of her old videos, which she apologized for, which also sucks. And cancel culture is another thing I want to talk about later on. But
yeah,
you can see already how the internet kind of just all bleeds together. Like, everyone understands it, but the rules were just made up as they went along. Like, as you said earlier, it's the wild, wild west. But now it's literally is just getting a lot more. Like, remember, what was it? Fuck, I can't remember what it was called, but remember that they were supposed to be restricting the internet a couple of years ago.
What you call it? That I can't remember his...
Net neutrality, that was it. Remember when everyone was freaking the fuck out over that?
Yeah.
And then just... It's happening slowly. Like, people thought it'd just be overnight thing, but no, like, even now, like, the other day when you were saying that you were trying to look at videos on YouTube and the amount of stuff... Age verification, like... Like, it's a good and bad thing, but it's just the way they go about it. It's just now, you used to just sign up with an email and, yes, I'm 18 years old. But now it's like, oh, give us your home address, your PPS number, your card, everything. Like, even in China recently, that they're limiting children's playtime on consoles to 3 hours, and they can monitor that.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Like, China is fucking scary. And, like, like... taking it back to Blizzard, not that we even spoke about them, but like with Blizzard and whatnot, like, they provide games for the internet, but the fact now that, like, that they were bowing down to their market to serve them, like, then look at, what was it, which basketball thing was it that they were just kind of conforming to Hong Kong and whatnot?
What basketball team?
Yeah, like,
I can't remember.
Or was it I can't remember. Like,
I don't know if it was the LA Lakers or like I don't think it was.
I can't remember, but either way, it's just the internet is. That's how powerful of a tool it is that they're trying to restrict it in China. Like even look in North Korea, for example. You know, like it's literally a luxury there. Whereas for us, you pick up your phone and you can Google whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like when you really contextualize it, everything you could ever want to search up is in your hand.
Yeah.
And when you break it down like that, it's kind of overwhelming. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I would say it's. I mean, yeah, but I think that's also like a good thing, you know? Like when somebody says a fact and you're like, is that true? They'll be like,
I gotta fact check you.
and then they're like, oh, actually, I'm gonna backtrack before you look that up.
Actually, I retract my statement. But like to take it back to the golden age, for me, like, you know, golden age for me was Xbox Live. Again, like YouTube, shitty videos, and just
racism galore. I'm joking.
That's you, bud. That's not me. But
No.
then like you know, look at all like Newgrounds and whatnot, like games with flash games. You know, that's how simple the internet was for me. You know, it was a simple little thing. For me, it was just for games.
Yeah.
You know, and just entertainment. But I didn't understand how complex it actually is. Like, you know, when you're that age, like, you know, the deep web isn't a thing to you, but it's always been there.
Yeah.
That, like, but as you get a little older, like, especially when YouTube, I feel like the internet kind of started to change when YouTube really started getting bigger. Like, you know, when people realized that they can get jobs from this and get monetized from it.
Oh yeah, that was like 2010, wasn't it?
2010, that was when it kind of started, but I'd say...
It was when it was bought by Google, and then Google started putting ads on it.
Yeah. And then there was their AdSense scheme where, like, hey, get a bit of dosh. And that's how, like, you could have got, like, back then it was literally based on views. Like, if you got 1 million views, you got, like, 50 grand up front. But now it's all about watch time and whatnot. But either way, most advertising now is done through YouTube. Like, that's why they can afford to, like, pay, like, you know, PewDiePie what I'd say, like, I know that 2 years ago his gross net worth was 20 million, but goddamn, like, 20 million just from going to YouTube, and now it's every kid's dream.
Yeah. I was always confused with PewDiePie on, like, he's the most subscribed independent YouTuber.
Before he was kicked off of Disney.
Yes. I mean, he still is.
Yeah, but, like, now he's kind of independent, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he wasn't when he was with Disney, that's what you're saying. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That was a great point. I was really expecting that to go somewhere. But it's just like, you know, my relationship with the internet then was just, you know, because as I said, like in the last episode, I was very introverted, so I didn't really talk to a lot of people. So the internet was just my way just to play games online.
Yeah.
But then, of course, as it gets older and just like, you know, social norms change, you have to get a bit more dependent. Like, you know, like I hate the notion now that on the internet with a lot of people, like if you don't keep constantly texting them, then you're not friends anymore. All of a sudden, like if it's not online, then it's gone. That like it's very, very flashy. So like now, because I remember I used to have Snapchat, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and I cut Snapchat out from my life, and genuinely my mental health improved tenfold. Because the thing about Snapchat is more of a vanity app in my opinion. That like you really, what are you posting a story for? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself, or are you just doing it to show off? Like, you know, when you go to, sorry, did I strike a nerve? But like, you know, when you go when you go to a concert, what's the first thing everyone does?
Cry. Phone.
Yeah, as soon as, like, you know, the band comes on stage, phones are up. They have to record the opening, and then that's it. They look at it through their phone, and like when I was at the age when I was using Snapchat, I was kind of masking myself as a person. I was trying to be a lot cooler than I actually was. So like I was using all the maps, but I was kind of just realizing I'm not that type of person. You're not that guy. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
But it's like, you know, on Snapchat, there's a bunch of people I don't talk to, seeing their day-to-day lives that I genuinely don't care about, and they don't care about mine, but it's just to show that people are living. Yeah, streaks. Like, I remember when streaks was a big thing, and I had enough one day, and I posted this big, scary story saying, like, anyone that sends me another fucking streak is getting blocked. And right then they all stopped. But that's the thing, like, you know, it's just like, I don't want to look bad. And then one day I just decided to delete it. And of course there's like the adjustment period, but after about a month or so, I felt so much better.
Yeah, I never understood streaks. It was like, wait, are you playing a game? Like, what achievement did you get
actually
out
talk
of
to
this?
each other? Or is it just...
No, you just say streaks.
Yeah.
Streaks. I remember when that shit happened, I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I barely was on Snapchat, and I haven't been on it for like, since... Fuck, I can't remember. Since they changed their whole...
I wouldn't even know. The last time I looked at it was they had the thing in the middle. You swipe that way, stories in that way, and it was just messages. But like, you know, then I saw of it recently that the fact there's like 5 different menus, 5 this, 5 that, and it's just like, what is the app for anymore?
Guys.
And like, you know, you see like, well, I know that a lot of people, like, you know, who do want to sign up for OnlyFans do premium Snapchats or something. Is that a thing?
Maybe.
Again, like, I don't know, but it's just with Snapchat.
Wait, I think it is. Bella Delphine made a fuck ton of money out of her Snapchat, but that was before OnlyFans. That was like one of her, like, I think she linked her Snapchat like password or something into
Password?
Yeah, there's like a password or something. I can't remember what happened with it.
Jesus.
All I remember is that like there was a shit ton of leaks from it, so she stopped, and then OnlyFans came and she's like, cool, I got money now.
So now what you're trying to say is it's just another way of making money now in that regards.
Yeah, but I mean, she already had Patreon, so that she was doing like phenomenally on that, I think.
But like I was saying about the vanity, it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't care about a majority of these people. Like, most of these people, if I want to see them, I'll see them, and if I want to take a photo with them, I will. And then just since I cut that out, you know, I wasn't taking a photo just for the moment, because again, once you take that photo, you're not taking it for yourself. Like, how often you go, I'm going to look back on this photo when you post something on Snapchat? And
oops,
like, now I primarily use 1 second. Hey Owen, you want to hop on the mic while I'm going?
But I'm an intern. Who cares? It's okay, I'll grab it.
you can continue his point as it, like,
I am the intern.
Okay, I guess that's enough. Yeah. Oh, there's back for more.
I probably make a cut. I don't think I have anything interesting to initiate. I think you should.
Yeah, I think you're a very boring person myself.
Cover for me for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Ooh.
Headphones on if you want to
Yeah?
order.
Ooh, 5 minutes. Put on the headset.
So I gotta figure out what to do. No dead air. No dead air is allowed. So what was the last thing I was talking about in regards to Snapchat and stuff like that?
I think Snapchat is like, well, again, I haven't used it in fucking forever, and I don't think I really want to either.
I love the irony of that though. When he said I was clutching my pearls because I just literally recorded you guys and put you on my story. Well, no, I just sent it to a few people.
You know, friends, family, people you hate.
Yeah, but I do agree with the point of like social media can just be this thing for vanity's sake, but the fact that it was initially for vanity's sake, I think, because it was this fun new thing, and now it's a little life controlling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, I remember when, and I don't know how much of this is true because I technically got it off like a documentary about the movie of Facebook, The Social Network. Yeah, about how Mark Zuckerberg made how he like Facebook was originally rating women. Because he got dumped or something. He got dumped, and he was like, "I'm gonna make the entire like campus like rate." Now, again, I'm rethinking on this. Like, so I don't actually remember exactly what happened with that, but it was like, okay, cool, ranking people. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. They bring up a topics not dissimilar to that. Actually, close that over. Not dissimilar to that in the David Fincher film where they're putting up your relationship status on Facebook, and Andrew Garfield's like, oh, so Facebook can get you laid and stuff like that. But there, like, it rules your life depending on your engagement with it. You know what I mean? Like Cian was talking about earlier, how he's just not engaging with Snapchat anymore, and how it just has lost his grip on him, because it is such a, all in all, not ineffective, but like a very small part of the kind of social media conglomerate. Like the biggest one is you have Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, and there's all, you have your stereotypes about who use you know any given social media app, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I know TikTok is the big one.
TikTok. I've never touched it. As far as I know, is like a lot of people have told me anyways that like you have to be on it for like not barely even more than a week, and then like you get memes, and like it kind of hones down on what you like.
I mean, yeah, in any given, it's the same shit in every app
Instagram
you use.
as well, yeah, true, yeah.
It's collects data on you, and then it subscribes, or not subscribes, but it kind of brings things to your attention that may be within your interest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if you're liking certain videos, do you know what I mean, and certain trends and certain hashtags, it makes it really easy for the algorithm to pick that up and then just give back to you what you've liked previously. Like I'm on TikTok now, but I've noticed that I get a lot of, and it's the very niche part of TikTok, but like comic book TikTok and stuff like that. Like I get a lot of like repeating TikToks in regards to, you know, anything in Marvel or DC comics, you know what I mean? And it's always the niche stuff.
Yeah. By the way, I'm wondering if like we're talking like we just went into like algorithm shit. I wonder if that was like one of Cian's points, and now we're just like fuck it, we'll just talk about this. I mean, that's my points. I put them up there. I cannot
read his handwriting.
me neither. That's why.
But like, look, I've nothing. I'm not mentally prepared for this, so I'm doing this purely out of improvisational purposes and to fill dead air. So I mean, it might not make the cut. But I have this little note in my hand that I handed to Cian earlier that I think is an interesting point to be expanded upon, which is online tailored persona.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been said time and time again, but you do create a fantasy of a character.
Bong.
That's embarrassing. You do create this. Okay, you do create this fantasy character when you're online. You know what I mean? And it can be whatever you want it to be. You're putting up the best pictures of yourself, the best moments of your life. It is, in some essences, it is a diluted version of catfishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you can see through it, and there is a person there, but a lot of the earnest has faded away.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, it's actually still, even if you really wanted to be earnest on the line, it's still kind of hard as well, because you don't know, like, the moment you know you're about to post something that you've already done in your life, you're just like, oh man, it felt like this. But then when you just send off the pictures, it's like,
it's reduced.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, like it's going to be reduced in some way, so it's always going to happen.
Yeah, and the thing the internet is kind of ruled by, I don't know if you've seen, it's always funny things, pretty people, cool things, or aesthetically pleasing things.
Yeah.
Because those are the most easily marketable things to give to anybody, because everybody wants to see the nice thing, so everyone's going to put up the nice thing.
Yeah.
So, and life isn't always like that, so it is hard to share the earnest. But like, in given that, I find people who do share the earnest, they do have smaller audiences, but they have very valued audiences at the same time. Like, again, I wrote up Philip DeFranco, and every now and then I will watch his news show because I like to keep in touch with it, but it is a very transparent news show at the same time.
Yeah.
People like him and PewDiePie, and even though PewDiePie is the most subscribed channel on YouTube independently,
yeah.
I don't know how to check that, but I feel like a lot, like if you look at his engagement, it's not as big as his subscriber base. You know what I mean? It is like someone with that many subscribers should have more engagement, and a lot of that is down to shadow banning and stuff like that, and I mean, just unfair treatment of creators online because they're not as easily marketable. Yeah. I mean, like after the whole his thing with Disney after Scare PewDiePie's season 2, which didn't even get released,
wasn't it?
Yeah, the bridge incident.
Like I think it was,
which
I mean, it was
understandably
it was the bridge incident, and it was the Fiverr incident, where
Yeah.
I think the Fiverr thing kicked it off. That started the first one, and then like what made it just worse was he did do the bridge incident happened, and a lot of people just took that as that's a confirmation as he's like racist.
Yeah, and then there was articles published online about him being such a person and videos blatantly taken out of context.
Yeah,
and he did
yeah.
apologize for it because his action was offensive and it was a little inexcusable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that does have to be taken seriously. And
Yeah.
I'm not getting into the whole debate of that because I am a cis white male. I really don't have that much to contribute on a platform like this to race relations on the internet. I'm like, it's just...
Yeah, what you call it? I remember when all that stuff happened. I mean, I watched a video. There's a guy I watch now. He's mainly a Twitch streamer, but he uploads his Twitch shit onto YouTube, which most Twitch people do anyways.
Yeah, because
But
it's...
Hassan Piker is like...
Yeah, I know Hassan Piker.
I love watching his...
Did you see the whole thing about him buying his new house?
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna bring up?
No.
Okay.
I was bringing up that he actually defended PewDiePie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which, like, I mean, he's a very accepting person in some cases, unless they're like, you know, he believes they're actual. Yeah. But like,
that's a joke, by the way.
but
I like Hassan.
Yeah. He's
He's 6'4". He'll destroy me.
And tiny head, hard target. But
yeah, go on.
what you call it? Yeah, he defended PewDiePie and saying like, yeah, if you just like go a few years back when he did the podcast with Ken, I don't know if that was the Unbroken podcast he did or something, but he did a podcast with Ken and he said that he was talking about how there was a political group in Sweden that just got into power, and he was like, they're super fucking racist, and I don't know, like, Sweden's gone to like a really big shit because of this, and it's like, and then Hassan Piker was basically like, where's this PewDiePie? Where's this, like, he's a huge advocate for like human rights and like people get. So, like...
I mean, it's recently been released about his donations to charity in the past few years. It's like 1.5 million or something like that.
Yeah.
He's released the number. I don't know if he released the number or somebody else released it, but like I remember hearing about it on...
Yeah. I mean, Charlie... sorry, I keep saying Charlie, but like... Critical, yeah.
Yeah.
He did the same
not
thing.
to refer to him as Charlie.
Yeah. He did
Welcome to the parasocial aspect of the internet.
The Penguin Zero.
I mean, parasocial stuff is actually interesting to bring up.
Is that possibly in there? I don't...
it's not on his one.
Okay.
I'll write it up on the board so it's in somebody's view and I'll post it down.
Okay.
But in regards to one of the later topics we have up on the board here, I think the parasocial aspect of the internet is very important. But I do miss the internet we had. I do miss it.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was also a cesspool.
No, because there was absolutely unleashed opinions, but people also didn't have the influence that they do now.
Yeah, because the media portrayed it as like something bad.
Yeah.
Constantly.
So there wasn't much validity to a toxic opinion years ago, whereas now some toxic opinions get brand sponsorships and stuff.
But what you call it? Yeah, I mean, back then there was like a fuck ton of like a lot of edgy jokes. And I mean, like, the edgy jokes reached its peak around 2016 and Filthy Frank era anyways. I can't remember exactly when
I think that was the turning point on the internet. That's when the Wild West aspect of the internet died, was post Filthy Frank.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't give two shits if it's gone. I mean, the jokes were made.
It's not the edginess I miss. I miss the lawlessness. I miss I don't have to kind of subscribe to any overreaching authority. Like, one of the things that annoys me the most online nowadays is you have to prove. Yeah, you brought it up earlier when I was trying to watch something on YouTube. Because it was a funny meme video. Are you familiar with grapefruiting?
you want to know how to grapefruit your man?
I was trying to show somebody the grapefruiting video,
Yeah.
and it was verify your age with either ID or a bank card, and I was like, no.
Yeah, the bank card was instant because Google, I really want your fucking bank card. And then...
But we can save your details and make purchasing things for you easier.
but
and also, if my details get leaked, everyone else can have my stuff easier.
Yeah, but then the email thing is just like, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of days till we get back. And they probably won't even get back to you.
Yeah. But like that was the two options, either with my bank card or with my ID.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I am, because that's information that I don't want to just. And I know there's security software and encryption software, but like,
I mean, the amount of leaks that happened this year.
Like, I'm not trusting. Like, if politicians' secretive emails can get hacked, like, I'm not putting my ID online or my fucking bank details. That's not happening.
Oh, dude, I remember when I think it was like there was some bank in America that leaked its things, and like the news was just like it was like most of their like users. I was like, it's not most of their users. It was 52 billion. Or no, million. Sorry, not billion. It's like it was 50. It was 50.
We're scared to say the number.
Yeah, it's just like so it's not bad then.
it's okay. It's okay.
Pretty okay. Okay.
But it's not all of our clients. It's only the majority.
Yeah, it's only like 50%. It's over 50%. I mean, but not all of them. That's the best thing.
Yeah. But I know the internet is a wicked and wild place, but it is a place that has a lot of walls been put up as of the last few years. A lot of walls have been put up in the last 2 years in regards to TOS stuff. Is, I mean, that's a given on any website, but like
TOS,
terms of service,
titty of sex.
Nice.
As you can tell, improv legend over here.
Yeah, he's taken many classes.
Yeah, definitely many classes, not just 0.
Because of companies trying to monetize stuff on the internet and sell stuff, things have to be tailored to, retain their image. I remember there was a whole thing years ago about a Coke ad playing over some terrorist video. I can't remember. I think it was an ISIS video.
Oh yeah, this was on YouTube. Yeah,
there was some. I don't know. It wasn't an execution or something like that. I don't know what the fuck it was. But it was a Coke ad.
Wasn't it the guy who they trapped the guy's whole body under sand apart from his head?
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen the video.
Oh, I think it was an execution. But
yeah.
Like, I don't look that up. Also, I don't think it's online anymore.
It'd be very hard to find.
Unless you go into... Oh, maybe I shouldn't mention anything like that.
Maybe let's not give rabbit holes for people to jump down.
Hey, what a nice segue.
Listeners like, hey, I have a virus now.
I don't know how much is this. This is a lot going to be cut out. Maybe, I don't know.
Look, but in speaking in what was it? Oh yeah. Coke ad, blah blah blah. Yeah. Because companies have things to lose online, they have to have their ads play on certain videos, and so ever since then, there's this whole element of shadow banning and secret age ratings given to videos on YouTube. I think Nerd City did an interesting video on it where if you were talking about certain topics, your video is given a restricted age rating.
There was a whole PDF file that was brought up.
Yeah. If you say certain words or certain topics come up, it's age rated, so a significant potential audience is cut out, and
dude, I think it's Godzilla.
I think Godzilla, and a significant amount of potential monetization is cut.
Yeah.
Because companies have things to put at risk here. They have their image to maintain, so they're only allowing their ads to play on certain videos, and
they're doing it secretly.
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand. I mean,
once you
just have that information out there. It's nicer to the content creators, the people you're going to get profit off. It's like
there is a real value to earnest and transparency. That's and I think that's what a lot of the larger creators were particularly upset about, is that they weren't being communicated with in any way, shape or form. Even though YouTube were kind of maintaining that vanity. I think I recall there was a Shane Dawson tweet about him like tweeting at Susan Wojcicki, whatever her name is, like, oh, like, let's get tea and talk this us and stuff like that, and she was like, oh yes girl, and they did, and they put up a picture about it, and it's like, oh cool,
talked about
what did you talk about?
Yeah, they talked about fucking nothing. And apparently she talked like to a bunch of people just to set up her own YouTube account, which alerted everyone to the fact that, wait, the person who owns fucking YouTube doesn't even have a fucking YouTube account. That's insane to me. I'm just like, what you call it? I was watching Oni Plays, and they described her like perfectly. Yeah, perfectly to me. It was just like, she's a mom that doesn't know what to do with all this fucking, like, who just wants to protect the kid.
It's like when you're showing your mom a meme on your phone, and she's like, what's that?
Yeah. Or like when you
head
like,
wrenches back, glasses go up and down.
Yeah. Or like when your dad comes in and like sees you watching like a gameplay video, and it's just like, what's the enjoyment out of that? And you're just like, it's fun to watch, good commentary, and
good commentary, fun personality.
It's just like, why don't you just play it yourself? I'm just like, it's money wasted. Like, it's not wasted, but it's like, it's
but that is actually another interesting point to bring up, that the popularity of walkthroughs and gameplays has allowed a new audience of non-gamers to enjoy games. Like the amount of people, including myself, who know The Last of Us, first one and second one, beat for beat, but have never played the game.
Yeah, same.
Because the narrative of the game was so well regarded and so popular that people wanted to engage with that more so than anything. So they were looking up gameplay videos, commentary or no commentary, depending, in what way they wanted to present it. And that's a great option to have as well. Yeah. Like, I love every now and then just having the opportunity to watch a gameplay video with no commentary, because I'm just like, I'm just interested in what the game has to offer here.
Yeah. I mean,
because you get to, I don't know, I'm just gonna go into boring stuff. I was meant to be like, but like sound design and stuff, and
yeah,
I mean, games are
sounds like this
fun.
Conversation's
boss man's back.
Thanks for keeping my seat warm.
Intern out.
Fart segue noise for sound effects.
I hope he didn't talk about porn without me.
No,
we skimmed it.
We
skimmed it. Did we? I don't know. We didn't. I don't even think.
As I was saying.
Yes, go ahead. Porn?
Well, that's a hell of a segue, so...
But, yeah, I was talking about the good until Hideo Kojima himself appeared at my front door, and I told him to fuck off, as I didn't want to play Death Stranding.
I did, and I liked it. But,
But
there's a director's cut that's coming. Whatever.
Don't worry.
Off topic.
I've literally no idea what you were talking about. So, Intern, did we say you could write on the board?
Too late.
Olympics.
So I if you talked about whatever I'm going to bring up, just tell me to shut up.
Right. Yeah.
But one of the things I was talking about was some of the good of the internet. And one of the good things about the internet as of now is how you can become self-made on it now. Like, as I remember, we were talking about PewDiePie before I had to disappear on my secret mission.
Yeah.
But it's offered a lot of people a chance to really... It's really opened up a chance for a lot of people to become self-made. Like, look at artists. Like, what about you? Have you thought about opening commissions up?
Yeah. Maybe.
Sorry.
I tried to open an Etsy account, but you actually have to sell physical things for that.
I mean,
and then I tried to do NFTs, but the concept of selling art for not money, but
a digital receipt.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, well then you have to transfer that, and basically sell it for whatever price you've set it at. And it's like, okay, that's cool. I remember when I first posted, I first put up like my thing. I was like, okay, I don't know how much this digital currency is, but I'll just put just one of it. I was just like, oh, cool. So that means you will be earning 10,000 euro. I'm like, okay. So I had to put like 0 point something to like get the like a reasonable price on it, and I'm just like, what's the fucking point in this?
But have you thought about pricing stuff? Because like now that you actually have a platform to start showing your work, I think you should start definitely uploading your own one. Because I feel like, what if you like? Because I actually saw recently that my friend Josh followed you on Instagram.
Yes,
and
I saw that.
he like I know he definitely have no problem sharing your work around. Like if you actually start producing it, because he's very fond of drawings and whatnot. And like I showed him some of your work, and he thought, how did he put it? I can't remember how he put it, but that I think you should definitely start looking into commission work, because again, it's just your style is so unique. It's one of my favorite things about starting this entire podcast is seeing your work.
Yeah.
I just do everything else, but your thumbnail.
yeah. What you call it? Oh fuck! I still need to contact. So I have a friend, AJ. I'll just say AJ because that's just like, wait, should I keep people's like names disclosed? But I'm like, wait, AJ's a nickname anyways, so it's like nobody will know. But his sister, right? Fuck it, whatever. they set up a shop on Etsy, and she was talking about how like easy it is to just go to a store and print out like a bunch of shit. I was like, oh shit, I should just do that and then try to sell like.
Well, I mean, like
prints.
Take it from me, literally everything in this room, I am sitting at a minus. I am not breaking even for years to come.
Yeah.
But it's just, a couple of sheets, €50, and then like I would know where to begin, which like I don't want to talk about this too much because I still have a whole list of stuff to talk about, but it's just e-commerce itself, like seeing people set up on Etsy, people becoming self-made because again, their own drawings and whatnot, just making props and whatnot.
Yeah.
But what is your relationship like with the internet?
Coexistence. I'm fine. I use it a fuck ton. Like, I mean, a fuck ton. I love just watching YouTube and shit, and I got a lot of information off it. And then when I go down, like when I find out something, or like I find that's really interesting, I'm like, I fucking do a shit ton of research on it. Then after all the research I've done on it, I forget most of it because. But then after that, after I forget most of it, I think it goes into, like, I try to, after researching, losing most of it, I am blanking out.
So, do you do it for fun or just because you want to better yourself?
Oh, it's mainly for fun because I find it. I just find that topic interesting in that exact moment. But then, like, as well as after realizing that, like, I do forget a lot of things, and that's why I'm like, I think it was this when I looked at the paper or whatever about it, and then it's like, but then I also realized that has nothing to do with me at this very point in time. I mean, one of my favorite Reddits is like r/interesting as fuck or something like that, or interesting as shit. I can't remember, but
so you kind of just use it to really pass the time and whatnot.
I mean, it hasn't been doing. I mean, before I got a job, technically it was job searching, which helps a lot. Because
I found with me this year, especially since starting, my own channel and trying to start my own projects. So although I keep saying like I haven't produced as much, but I've started treating the internet a lot more differently.
Yeah.
Like I barely go on to just look at YouTube videos and blah blah blah. Like now, whenever I'm sitting here, I'm editing up. This second monitor here is just YouTube tutorials on how to do it. Like, it's literally just teaching me, so I'm actually, and that makes me feel like I'm kind of getting a healthier relationship with it. Instead of just, like having videos on to distract me, I'll have a podcast on,
Yeah.
But it's just nothing visually distracting. But whatever visuals I do have there is to better me. And that moderation is important. Like one thing I did once before and I haven't done it since was check my screen time, like how long I spent on my apps. You know what?
Yeah.
Let's do it now.
I'll do the same. Why
Yeah.
not?
Do you want to participate?
Does the intern
Yeah, like that can fucking hear you. So going
talking to the intern?
Screen.
Bleep blarp bloop.
Sorry.
Wait, what?
Mine's in digital well-being. So if you just go into settings and search up screen time.
Oh yeah, digital well-being.
So I'll go first.
Parental. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's I think mine is. Okay, so Jesus Christ, I hope this isn't true, but just today alone, apparently I've used my phone 8 hours and 21 minutes.
I don't feel that bad now.
Wait, how do you...
Hover for me.
On Google alone, I spent like more than half an hour. Wait, am I meant to like just bring up my own? Like what I have... How many hours I put in today?
Yeah.
Still hurts cause
You can check your screen time in your settings and digital well-being. I don't know where it is on your phone, but that's where it is on mine.
I'm reaching like almost 2 hours.
My digital screen time in total is 6 hours and 19 minutes, and about half of that was spent on TikTok today.
So wait,
That's unfortunate.
yours was...
Mine was 8 hours and 21 minutes.
Oh my fuck. You guys are on your phones quite a bit. I'm on 2 hours.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
What I think mine could be as well is sometimes I fall asleep listening to YouTube videos.
I do that a fuck ton. Actually, if the screen time on my Switch, or like that would probably be fucked, because I think that would probably be the most fucked, because I
also promise that will be the final interruption.
as you killed the kids.
Shut up, Matthew. But so anyway, I'm curious now. We're doing this live. Yeah, my big blue bar is YouTube. 4 hours and 32 minutes today I've spent on YouTube, and I guarantee you I was probably asleep for all of that.
I mean, yeah, my screen time for sure. If you look at my Switch's screen time, YouTube would be so fucked, because I fall asleep, and I like how I fall asleep as I put on like a 10-hour long video of like a compilation of just like people talking, and I just fall asleep to that because I find it so comfortable.
And my other one is Instagram. That's the other big one, and that is if you want to tell me, apparently I've used Instagram for 2 hours today.
Oh,
so like gone from that to that, and apparently I've unlocked my phone 85 times today.
oh.
Does it tell you how much you unlocked your phone for?
Where do you find that?
Mine just says it at the...
Oh, mine's a bit different. Mine's
Like I said, it's really scary once you open this up and you kind of realize, oh shit, that's a full night's sleep that my phone has been on for today.
Yeah, mine is less than... At the moment, it's less than 7 minutes from yesterday. I spent 36 minutes on Google Chrome, 26 minutes on Reddit, 22 minutes on Instagram, and then everything else is fodder. Like, it's just grey.
So that's why, like, you know, digital well-being is something that we should literally start looking into a lot more now.
It's crazy the moment of awareness you get when you check it.
Yeah, literally, like, even sitting here now, you probably can't help but want to look now and realize, oh, what am I doing with my time? Like, that's how quickly time goes. And, like, you know, let's call ourselves out here. What could you have done in that time?
Shit my pants.
I could have written and read more.
Yeah.
Because of the things I want to, I want to create.
What about you, Matthew? What could you have done in that time?
In 2 hours? Yeah, I could have probably started drawing. Went out to SportsLink. Swam.
Like, I could have started editing my piece. Yeah, like, you know...
Yeah.
When people say, I don't have time, according to your phone, according to your phone, you have all the fucking time in the world. And, like, there was a lot of stuff, who knows, maybe we'll make this a 2-part where next time we'll talk a bit more, because, again, I have a lot more, but just a few distractions happened today. But I kind of want to start talking about the bad, which is the start of that, like, how long today alone spent on the phone.
I mean, I was... screen time, I don't think I'm so negatively drawn to on my phone, or like on YouTube I'm pretty bad if you're talking about just like looking at the TV. But yeah, today I was just so tired, and it seems like yesterday I was as well.
But you have a reason though. Like, I was bad after my second vaccine, but speaking of vaccine, like, take it back to social media, like, look at the anti-vax movements, like where does that come from? I can tell you where.
Truthers.
Bad coping mechanisms. Because, like, the thing about the internet is, because everything's in your hand, believe it or not everything you read is true.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing like, you know, rabbit holes you can fall down into, because, like, everyone loves coincidences, you know, everyone loves when things make sense.
Yeah.
So when you read one thing that kind of vaguely makes sense, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know, especially within the last nearly 2 years of this whole pandemic, you know, that's Pepe Sylvia. Pepe Carol. But, like, you know...
But it is a real world interpretation of Pepe Sylvia, where people are constructing their own narratives.
Like,
yeah,
it's just whatever. It's a coping mechanism. So, like, you know...
just on the point of, like, anti-vaxxers and, like, misinformation that just is flung across this fucking internet, like, era. But, there's a great video by Kyle Hill. He used to do a show called Because Science. He did a breakdown on how to research something. And it's a really good, like, helpful way to learn how to research for yourself and make sure. And it doesn't take many more steps. It just takes, like, a few more verifications just to make sure that whatever newspaper or, like, Facebook post that you look into is in the clear.
Because to take it back to social media and being, like, your CV, like, you know, what you share on your Facebook represents a lot of who you are. Like, you know, if you don't believe in lockdowns, of course you're going to post about it, and of course you're going to join groups of people who are like-minded and stage these events and look like complete and utter fools. You know, because you're the 0.1%, and then the other people who use the internet look at you and go, these are lunatics, and you get a bit more defensive, and then it could kick up a notch. Yeah. Like, you know, that's just in the context of what's been happening in Ireland recently, you know, with anti-lockdown, now that, like, lockdowns, they're more or less over, so the next thing to bitch about is vaccines. It's world domination.
It's amazing how people are taking the risk to die rather than get the vaccine.
And the reason why, like, you know, masks and lockdowns and other things could possibly happen is because of people not wanting to.
Yeah. Did you guys...
So we have to...
did you guys see that like, all the conservatives over in America are now backtracking?
I don't bother with American politics anymore.
Recently Trump told at one of his rallies for people he endorsed the vaccine.
Yeah, and I bet you all of a sudden, considering the FDA approved it.
Yeah, they booed him.
Yeah.
That must have hurt his ego.
I can't wait till, like, I know I'm a huge fan in American politics because I find the insanity so fun. No, but I cannot wait for the next election.
Season of America, yeah.
The next election I just cannot wait for. It just sounds like it's going to be so batshit insane when the next or everything gets fixed, but not going to happen.
But like, you know, people will share stuff that makes them, but at the same time, one thing that is equally scary and one thing that really boils my blood a lot is false advocation. Like, you know, of course, with all the current tensions in the world regarding, like, you know, Afghanistan and women's rights, Black Lives Matter, that, like, now is the most important time for people to actually get their voices across and let them know that they know what's happening. Like, don't get me wrong, it's impossible to know everything, but if you're someone who just posts it for the sake of posting it but then you don't back what you believe, like, you know, again, you're making yourself look good but you're not following what you do. Like, the internet is just this vanity thing. Like I said, I keep bringing it back, like, it's your CV. It's just like Facebook is where they get to know you, Instagram is how you look, and it's just, especially within the last year and a bit, like, as soon as BLM died down, it's like all them posts started going down. And they're like, you know, I haven't seen, like, a lot of people talk about what's happening in Afghanistan. Like, you know, especially, like, there was a few posts about what was happening in Israel and whatnot. But it's just like, you know, I don't expect everyone I know to know about it. Like, if you don't post about it, then obviously I'm going to presume that you're unaware.
Yeah, I mean, that's because the news travels so fucking quick. With the internet happening, news travels just so fucking quickly. I remember in 2020 it was the Hong Kong protest.
Yeah.
After that, George Floyd happened, and then the BLM
Black Lives Matter just
I was about to say BLM matters. I'm like, that's Black Lives Matter matters.
Like, it's a shame that they needed a martyr to even just get some recognition.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, when I do challenge people on these topics and I do bring them up, after they know so much about it, like, you know, then they're like, I'm like, you're just making yourself look good.
Yeah, what you call it, like, engagement for Black Lives Matter has, like, significantly died down after what's his name finally got prosecuted.
I don't even want to remember his name.
Yeah,
I don't even care. Like,
Derek Chauvin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Derek Chauvin, and then they wanted to, and everyone's like advocating, okay, we need this pressure again, but for Breonna Taylor's case, but not a lot of push for that. I mean, there's a lot of push, but like not as much as there was for George Floyd's incident.
Good topic to bring up in this time would be Kim Kardashian's advocacy for that kind of movement. I think is worth talking about how she's trying to fund a release program for people who are.
Oh,
I didn't even know about that. Jesus.
Yeah.
A lawyer.
Fucking fair play to her then.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know what the thing is actually called. But
Don't worry, next time we'll mic you up. But
Screaming to the hills.
like again, that takes it back to the vanity because everyone just
Yeah.
presumes Kim Kardashian is this bimbo who just posts pictures of herself and loves herself. But hearing that, it's like if she actually does go through with it, I'll actually respect her.
Yeah.
But like
I mean, there's still like, don't get me wrong. There's like, it's not black and white. She still can be sometimes like ignorant and like.
so that's what I was
dumb,
about to
but,
say. Like it's saying one thing but showing it is another. Like look at all these YouTuber apologies. They say they're going to change, but do they actually show it?
No. Well, most of them don't, anyways. I mean, what you call it? The whole Logan Paul thing. He worked his fucking ass off to get like.
and
even
I
a
respect
better,
the guy now.
Yeah, better reputation. And some people at the moment are saying Jake Paul's doing it, but like Jake Paul's not doing a fucking thing. He's just fighting people, and because he's winning, people are respecting him more now for some reason.
The thing about Logan was, no, he's not fighting boxers. But the thing about Logan is, he took the losses, but he said, you know what, I lost. Like it did humble him. Then since then, like that was a redemption arc. But it's just, but here's another name, James Charles. Guys, I swear I won't text any more minors as he continues to text more and more minors. That that's another scary thing about the internet that I didn't even want to write down because I didn't want to talk about it. But it is all the grooming that happens.
Yeah. I mean, what you call it? The amount of fucking like, hey, remember all these old YouTubers? Fucking 90% of them are just, no, don't trust them. They're all fucking
like it is genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, and there's Call Me Carson. Did you hear that he's trying to come back?
Yeah, I seen that he posted a video.
Yeah.
The thing about that entire situation is, I can give the American perspective of it and my perspective of it as an Irishman that I think we'll all agree on. So the American perspective was, there's not that much of an age difference, age consent and whatnot.
But you're forgetting about the other cases.
Yeah. But the thing is about Ireland, like my mentality is, if you're above the age of 18, you're fucking shooting above that. Don't be going below that. And it's just like giving him a pass because there was only a year difference. Well, but was he above age when they first started? Get rid of that Romeo and Juliet bullshit.
That and power dynamics.
Yes. The abuse of, like, the fact that he was just a huge figure in the Minecraft community at that time. Not even just the meme community in general. He had, like, a lot of say. So, like, hell, even when he broke it to his friends, like, a lot of them still didn't know what to do for a few weeks until, like, what's his name broke it.
Can't remember.
Was it? Oh fuck! What's his name?
Ted?
Was it Ted that broke it first? Yeah, I can't remember. But whatever. Yeah, I mean, the amount of manipulation in YouTube is insane. Which, but I guess would make sense because it's like a place for like people to just go and like. And people who become famous, there's a lot on YouTube anyways. There's a fuck ton of people that are famous in YouTube.
Because, that's the thing, though. Like, we all watched Make Happy. What was he said at the end of the show? If you can live without an audience, do it. But yeah, what are you and I doing right now? Realistically, this is a bit more of a more lax episode because we do have a third person in the room with us, so it's more of a conversation among us. But the other two episodes, who are we talking to? Why?
Among us. Sorry.
It's just if we're pretending that we already have an audience, which we realistically don't, it's just like, are we just doing it because we want to perform and want to show off? Or is it just because, we actually want to do it? And I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people. Yeah. That, look at Twitch, for example. Tier 3 sub guys, come on. you know, I'll say your name.
Yeah,
Like,
what you call it? Wasn't there this whole argument when the Hassan Piker stuff came out about him buying a house? There was an argument about how, why are we paying Twitch streamers for
why are you paying actors for their houses? What's the difference?
yeah, well, it's like, for Twitch streamer, you're paying for their attention, because the more popular they get, the more money their attention will be. That's what Pokemon said anyways. Yeah,
Like, you know, it's just because with a lot of like the Gen 1 YouTubers will say like PewDiePie and whatnot, like they did have to work years and years before their wealth accumulated.
is PewDiePie known as one of the first gen? Because technically Smosh is, isn't he? Smosh,
I'd say-
2005 to 2010 are. Well,
That was
PewDiePie
when
came in,
that was when he was kind of taken off though. Like by 2012, that was when he definitely had a million. But that was like, you know,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you're right. He is second gen because that was when the Let's Players came in. Let's Players was second gen, but you know, it was just when YouTube was this easy thing. But now that, like, you know, do any of you watch Dr. K, the therapist on YouTube, the psychiatrist?
I do remember seeing him.
I've watched a few of his stuff, and it's interesting seeing people, literally just these people, not YouTubers, not Twitch streamers, just talking about.
Yeah.
That I just, that's one thing I'm afraid of. Like, hypothetically, if I become successful, is like, am I doing it for myself, or am I doing it because there's people who demand it, and if they don't, they will stop feeding me?
True.
Like,
I mean, I see. There's a point in every one of their careers, right, where they had to decide, wait, is this my job now? And if once it becomes your job, I think it's fair to say that, yeah, I think you can be a little more greedy in that sense, because at that point it is your job and you need to still survive as but like, say again?
Their life at that point.
Yeah, and like
your entire life is on the web.
yeah, and it's like at that point you do have to take that ginormous fucking leap, and it's, so I understand why people would like do stuff like clickbait and like all that stuff like that.
And here is one person who reveled in that, and we all know how this ended. Cian.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. That says it all.
But I mean, he
Do you think that story, how his story would have ended the way it did? I'm not gonna even fucking say how it did. If you want, Google it. But do you think that entire scenario would have happened if 4chan just never found him, or do you think he actually would have had a normal life?
I don't think he would have had a normal life. His family were fucked. But would he have a more normal life? Maybe.
Given a lot of the things that have occurred in Cian's life, given the child abuse, given the poor services offered to, I don't know what the pronouns are at the moment, he or she, but to them, the poor services offered to them as a high-functioning autistic person, there wasn't conditions given to them to be nurtured well. And given the hyperbolic nature of the internet, everything just kind of erupted at once. You know what I mean? Because Cian in their early life was a very, it's just right to say, but homophobic person. And that the internet took that and just targeted it. And in response to that, Cian made the Sonichu comic very heterosexual and hypersexualized, and there became this strange offensive attitude between them and the internet. That's what I have to say on the topic. There's no way it could have ended well with or without the internet, because there was history prior to them, and it was very traumatic and negative.
Yeah.
That is not saying everyone who suffers from trauma will
be bad,
will turn negative.
Yeah.
Some people do prevail, and it's just a struggle.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
Yeah. I mean, did you guys see the person who... Now, again, you can't put all the blame on this, but it's a lot of blame on this person. There was... So, you know the way there's, like, some of Cian's fans that kind of egg him on to be worse, right?
Trolls, yeah, just to see what they can do.
Yeah, so there's this person who pushed him to do what he did recently, the most recent thing.
Jesus. Because I know that he was, like, the owner of Kiwi Farms was very close with him just to kind of monitor.
Yeah.
Then again, but at the same time, is he monitoring him because he brings clicks to the site, or because of his general well-being?
Yeah, I mean, it was actually insane when all that shit like broke out, and I was like, holy fuck, this, like, I know a lot of people thought like, wait, did he do that anyway? Like, but yeah, he was he's very vulnerable constantly, because he's a very like,
he's on the spectrum.
Yeah, and he lets a lot of people.
His world is different to ours. Yeah. Like, realistically, like, you know, what's blue for us is not blue for him. You know.
Given being a person on the spectrum myself, there is a strange social aspect to it, I find, where a lot of things that are implied in conversation or are joked about are just not communicated to that mindset well, because you just don't really function in that matter. Like, I'm not to the degree of Chris Cian.
Thank fuck for that.
Thank God. But like, I do, you know, I do mask well, but I do have my social struggles. I think you've both of you seen that at some point where someone tells me, someone tells me a joke and I just look at them with pure seriousness, because it feels like something, maybe it's a mean joke, but it feels a little targeted, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then I have to like take about 30 seconds and go, oh, it was a fucking joke, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's a hard mind to describe, and it's a spectrum at the end of the day, so it is hard to speak to every aspect of it, but I feel like I can shine somewhat of a light on it.
Yeah.
Because one of the happiest things about the previous episode we did about mental health is how, when you were talking about your ADD, you didn't say it was a bad thing. You said it was a positive thing, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, it gave me a lot of positives.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's just, that was like one of my favorite takeaways from that, because again, as I mentioned on the episode, I think I'm undiagnosed with like bipolar disorders, but just hearing that, like, you know,
I should also mention that like my ADD is like, it is strong, but I've obviously met people with ADD that's like their ADD is insanely, like, it controls their every second of just that they cannot concentrate, so they need I can't remember what it's called. The
yeah, to point out fidget toys and whatnot.
Oh yeah. But no, I mean, isn't there like that pill that like helps them focus? Adderall, yes, which I think most countries don't allow. In America.
Anyway, conversations for another day. Maybe mental health part 2. You know, next time we can have Owen mic'd up. You know, but to keep it on. God, this is a weird one.
I mean, the internet's like so fucking broad. We might as well like go everywhere with it.
Because, like, you know, because one thing I did want to bring up was porn. Like, full disclosure, like, my relationship with porn is not a strong one. Like, me, I'm just not a very like high testosterone guy. I just don't have a lot of like sexual urges most of the time.
So if Obi-Wan was to come up with you, he was like, "You're not strong with the porn."
Pretty much. That, like, you know, it's just. I tried sending it to you, but have you ever... Yeah, I bet you have. You've watched the music video for Me, Me, Me.
Me, Me, Me? Oh, wait. Have I? What's this?
Have you not?
Wait, I don't know. I got it.
Okay, so...
Who's it by? What's it?
I can't remember the artist, but I'll show you after. But pretty much like...
Yeah.
That video is more or less my kind of opinion on pornography on the internet. So, like, the song and video is about this guy who... self-proclaimed otaku, like, you know, he lives in his little flat, he has his figurines and whatnot, but he has this fantasy world of porn. Like, you know, it goes into the screen, like, you know, there's these, like, you know, big-breasted, like, big hips girls, like, you know, just dancing towards him, like, you know, luring him in, and he's happy. But then it takes a sudden change, where all of a sudden, like, you know, these lustrous girls are now, like, tangled in these wires, and it takes a bit of a darker turn. And it kind of highlights, hey, this you may think this is for your pleasure, but it's actually a lot seedier than that. This is a growing addiction. Yeah. And like the whole song is about pornography addiction. And as the song goes on, it shows that he actually had close the door now. That he had a relationship.
Yeah.
And he just abandoned this girl because pornography was just all he needed and whatnot. And then the video kind of shows him trying to overcome the addiction, but the addiction wins at the end of the day, and the video starts off with the same frame, And, like, you know, I found this video because I was just going down a rabbit hole of just this YouTuber, and it just came up in the thumbnail. And I guarantee you've seen the dance from this video.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the funny thing about it is that, like, you know, this music video is a forewarning. Like, you know, it's the 02 dance.
102 dance.
No, the zero, like, I think, like, you know, the one where, like, you know, she has the hands up, the hips are swinging.
Oh, yeah.
That came from that video, and it's like, now we've come full circle where this song's out, hey, like, you know, this is a trap to, hey, now we're just actively doing it because it's sexy. I'm like, you're falling into the trap.
Yeah.
And that's what...
That could have been from the fact that, like, you know, the way, like, TikTok is all about dances at the moment. Yeah.
Because, like, once I show you after the fact, because, like, I would do a live reaction, but it's just, we wouldn't be able to hear it because audio software and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, that's pornography. If you have a healthy relationship with it, fine. This is just my take on it. But it's just...
I mean, I think the definition when you notice, I mean, I'm not going to say, like this is exactly how you should diagnose somebody, but, like, you'll notice you have a problem when you start doing it everywhere, or, like, outside of your, like, comfort, and you feel like everywhere is okay to watch it, or, like, even, like, to masturbate to it, right? Like, it's like I think the definition is, like, if it's coming out of problematic behavior where it's like, yeah, you're not doing things right anymore, you're, like, taking your breaks and like going to the toilet or something and just forcing your way out of a situation just to do that, right? And it's kind of fucked.
In my opinion, the unhealthy thing about porn is the objects that most people on the internet like to treat in it, which is women. Because that's what I feel like most women are in porn. And to me, like, you know, that's what makes me feel uncomfortable about it. Like, you know, that guys have a preference and they're looking for their perfect doll in these videos. Like, you know, you always hear memes of, like, oh, you find that perfect video. But to me, the idea of that was just always creepy.
I'll speak up so we don't have to go to the mic. But I find there's an interesting dynamic proposed in porn as of late, where outwardly there is a massive objectification of women, but there's also an interesting inverse angle where they are the dominating force in the industry at the same time. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I think, what you call it? When Mia... Sorry, I was going to say, like, with, to that point...
Oh, before we begin,
like,
full disclosure, this episode wasn't planned. It was originally supposed to be planned for Sunday, but Matthew was a busy boy and we had to do it today when we had no prep, which is kind of why, like I said, we'll probably revisit it again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we decided to bring a third person in just because, you know, may as well, again. But next time, like, you know, we can properly discuss it and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that, like, it's just... Like, pornography just weirds me out. Like, you know...
Yeah, I understand that market, but, like, I also feel like it's given a lot of horrible things to, like, there's this
incels.
Yeah, there's also there's this, like, Twitter. I can't remember who said this thing on Twitter, but, like, they basically said in the worst wording possible, we should make porn for kids.
Fucking.
But it's, like, not doused in, like, negative.
So what is it supposed to be?
Sorry, she said kids. What it's actually for is for teenagers who are going to have to experience that, right? It's not kids having sex. It's just porn that's watered down. It's not edgy. It's not, like, it doesn't, like, you know, the way porn right now is, it's a constant marketplace, and it tries to do a lot of bad shit at the moment. So what she's saying is, she was saying that porn needs to like educate kids as well as, like, because
that's another thing is porn leads to a lot of misconceptions to actual intimacy. You know, I think every guy in the room here has had sex at least once, but, like, you know,
really?
But like, you know, it's just
Humble brag.
we're no virgins here on this podcast. But like, you know,
Welcome to the cum zone.
but it's just like, you know, that people watch porn and they just think all of a sudden that like, yeah, that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it really isn't. Like, you know, your girl isn't just going to open her legs and then that's it. Like, you know, it's
Wait,
gonna,
so I don't need ropes? What?
like, you know, it's just because, of course, like I said, someone who had barely any testosterone, I didn't feel the urge to jerk one out every so often. But it's just, it is kind of a weird, important balance for people who do need, because again, these urges come and go, but it's just if you know how to control them, because again, the word I brought up earlier, the I word, that's what happens when you can't control them. Like, you know, that is just... it's expected.
I would also say incels comes from a lot of other things. The fact that even just the concept of trying to get a woman.
Hey, here's a person, Elliot Rogers.
I
No
don't
idea
think
Rogers?
so.
The original YouTuber who became incel and killed people because he was like, why can't I get a girlfriend? He wrote a manifesto. Like, in one of his manifesto notes was his sister who was younger than him, her and her boyfriend were having sex, and he was like literally writing like, you know, his penis is in her vagina right now. Why can't someone do that with me? Why can't I? Like, he was being very graphic about it.
Yeah.
I think what you just said there is very interesting. That they have this concept of to get a woman, not to establish a relationship, not to kind of form anything romantic, to get a woman. Like it's this heavy attitude of objectification. A woman is something to achieve in that regard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just leads to a
And now, like, the scary thing is just now you see that a couple of years ago in my school, anyway, the group chats, you know, the ones I'm talking about, where a bunch of lads...
That was from your school?
That happened in my school. That did happen.
What the fuck? Did it happen with ours?
we didn't have a lot.
But I'll tell you a more horrific story after that happened in my girlfriend's school. So anyway, so like what these group chats I'm alluding to is a bunch of pretty much rapists. Let's just call them that because like it's unconsensual. Like there's no term for it. Like I know it's like, you know, it's not revenge porn. It's not this, but it's just a bunch of lads made a group chat and just whatever nudes they got off girls, all underage, they posted it in there. Yeah. And it's just like, you know.
Well, the rape isn't really the word. There's another word that's more accurate.
What is it? You're gonna educate me, please. What?
Possessors of child porn.
But when you're underage as well, it's kind of a bit grey.
But the problem was as well the fact that a lot of that came out even when they became older.
Yeah, that they'll hold on to these pictures. But in my girlfriend's school, that exact same situation happens, where a bunch of lads made this group chat.
Oh, I didn't know she was in an all boy.
She was in a mixed school.
Sorry,
don't worry, she was
boys' school.
Don't worry, she wasn't involved in this. Thank God. But it's just you know it happened, and you probably won't be surprised, but it was only the girls that got in trouble.
What?
Yeah, it was only the girls that got in trouble for taking the photos in the first place.
Why did you take a naked photo of yourself?
Oh,
like
it's,
you know
that fucking like stupid thing. Like, oh, she was asking for. Like,
yeah,
that's just
that. Like you know, it's just again.
Mentality.
You know, I don't know. It's just porn, nudes, and whatnot. It paints women in this weird light where again they're objects. You know, it's just like I need it for myself. But it's just
here's an interesting version of this would be if I gave Cian the password to a social media account that I own and trusted him with that, and then if he shared that would be a problem if he shared that with somebody else because it wasn't for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know that's an interpretation of that scenario that's a little more PG but a little bit more relatable maybe.
Yeah.
But you can't shame people for women for that. You know what I mean? The men are at fault in that situation for sharing those images. You know what I mean? And the fact that there's a value to those images now, that it's like a currency. It's fucking it's disgusting.
Oh, if you have this girl, I'll give you this girl.
Yeah. I mean, there was a massive case of it in the Guards. I think there was.
I remember that vaguely.
There was a WhatsApp.
I think so. Like I don't really remember it as much, but it's just Jesus Christ. This was a lot more of a bigger topic than I thought. Like I said, I
mean the internet is broad and it's got its fucking shit.
It's got its niche communities in all the, and it's got its dark pockets. Do you know what I mean? So,
But here's my question to you: is there more good or bad on the internet?
I think that is an unanswerable question. If I'm completely transparent, I think it's too difficult to weigh up both of those.
Mm.
I think it's almost the same as asking if there's more bad people than good people in the world. It's a highly variable question that I just feel is too hard to answer, because there's people that are true sale good, true sale bad, but there's also people who are influenced and people who don't know any better. So it's a very difficult question that I think is unanswerable.
So here's another question for you, or just even a topic. Modern kids and the internet. What's going on there? Like, is
I feel like you have more authority to speak on this than any of us, if I'm
that
completely honest.
like it's this weird? Also, I apologize for the weird mic difference. I am turning it up so you can actually hear Owen this time. This is going to be a weird one to edit and whatnot. But like I said, we'll get Owen mic'd up the next time.
Lean in.
It's just now you kind of see it everywhere. Wherever kids go, you'll see that they'll have a tablet, an iPhone, or anything in their hands watching YouTube. Like, remember the whole meme with Cocomelon? As funny as that was,
Cocomelon's
we're 100 million people, kids.
Yeah.
That, like, it's just that now it's this weird. Like I said, I used it for Xbox, but now it's just the new babysitter.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
they don't. Parents don't monitor their kid. What you call it? Recently, when I was in work, three kids walked up. They think they can own anything, so they tried to pickpocket where I was working, and just take everything. They what you call it? They the moment I touched them, right? The moment I touched them, to just bring them out of the like grab them by the wrist and bring them out the store. They were like, you can't do that. And it's just like, yeah, you can't. Yes,
You can't steal.
yeah, you're in the fault. Like, they're like they think everything is objectively theirs, and like there's no input. Like, it's insane. They think if they have an outward opinion on things, they'll just get through life. And I'm not sure if that's 110% because of how they were not raised by their parents. Well, it could be as well, but like well as the fact that
it's more convenient to just drop a phone in front of a child than actually deal with them.
Yeah. And sorry, I'm just going to say this one thing, but like people like Logan Paul and the certain generation of vloggers, right, where there were like before, they couldn't advertise to kids, right? Before they couldn't advertise to kids, they obviously marketed themselves to kids, and it was like they're just honing in onto this like market and telling them that, hey, this is how life should be. Always outward, always like pranking people, always like. Now again, the family is also at fault here, but it's like it's just shitty. I thought.
If I'm sorry, I don't know if it's too loud there. If I'm totally honest, I don't know if all of that spawns from the internet. I mean, there was kids our age when we were younger.
Yeah.
Who were just kind of troublemakers, and I think at such a young age, 12, 14, 15, they seem to kind of feed a little off conflict. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I have a younger cousin who loves to just bother older people by like running into farms and fields and getting chased out of it. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's actually a problem. But like that spawns from, I don't know, just this adrenaline seeking attitude that they just need the most all the time.
Yeah.
But on the subject of kids and the internet, I think, and particularly in regards to people like the Paul brothers and other creators, I wrote it down earlier, but the idea of parasocial relationships in regards to this youngest generation that are being kind of raised on the internet, I think that is a very worrying thought. And for anybody who doesn't know, a parasocial relationship is when a viewer, feels that they are a participant in a one-way relationship with a video creator. So they feel kind of that their content is more targeted towards them as an individualized audience member rather than general speak. And with kids, that is all the more easily. It's all the more easily manipulated, or the veil isn't really there because they don't have that sense of awareness. I don't know if you want to keep this in, but I do think you're the best to talk about this. So I'd love to hear your view on it.
Where do I begin with this one? It is a big one. So, like I said, my main use with the internet was playing Xbox and whatnot. But then there came a point where I wanted a social life, so I went and tried to get one.
Yeah.
But I have younger siblings, and the scary thing, like, the thing is, I know my parents aren't going to listen to this, so I can literally say whatever, but the scary thing is just, since the moment that, like, the eldest, who is 11 now, since she was, like, 1-2 years old, she had the iPhone in her hand.
Yeah.
So, for literally her entire life, so far, there's been a phone in it.
Yeah.
Watching whatever, like, the other day,
Can I also mention that we had, like, technically our generation had a warning sign of that with, hey, can I borrow my mom's phone to play Snake? Or, like, you know, like, it's not like it wasn't there, but we weren't technology.
But the thing is, now everyone has one of these.
Yeah, everyone has a touch phone.
But
so now there's multiple games, multiple things to watch, it's like it is a baby.
But to take it back to my history with it, so, like, you know, that's just how it is now, and you kind of have to accept it reluctantly. Like, you know, you just have to look in and go, I don't want that. But it's just monitor what the fuck they're doing. Because, like, when TikTok came around and my sisters were asking, I want to make a TikTok account. Like, I said to my parents, you monitor that daily, because, like, that's where all the predators are now. There's my siblings there, you know, uploading videos with their arses out. You know? And it's just, when my parents found out, they flipped. And I didn't want to say, I told you so. But you should have been paying the fuck attention. And, like, the other day when we were having dinner, like, I saw one of my sisters was watching, the oldest one was watching YouTube, and she was watching J Slat. Do you think he's appropriate for an 11-year-old?
Fuck no, I didn't even know. Oh my god.
See what I mean? Like, you obviously know who he is. You know who he is.
Yeah.
It's just things like that where there's so much, like, you don't know what they're searching up.
Just a word of advice to anybody who's listening to this. If you ever become a parent, don't save your card details on your phone. Your kid will buy shit.
Yeah.
Remember that Fortnite case? The hackers just spent 30 grand on V-Bucks, Mom. It just happened. The mom's like, yes, you're right, we're going to take this to court.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, you know, like, I don't know.
They don't think their little darlings can do any wrong.
Because, like, to summarize, like, you know, one thing I want to try and do, because, like, you know, the whole point of this podcast is we don't want to come in with a structure, we just kind of want to ramble, but, like, I like to summarize what I've talked about, like, you know, the good I've had with the internet, my relationship, just what I agree with, what I don't agree with, like, you know, my relationship with porn, like, how you can make yourself from it, and then just this whole thing. But, like, one thing I kind of... Hello? Oh, no.
Dog.
Oh, fuck.
Bruh moment. That moment when, dog. Bruh. I could actually go toilet. Oh, holding.
What happens?
Matthew's just gone to toilet.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to jump in? Yeah, jump.
Man, I'm definitely gonna have to give a disclaimer in front of this one saying that this was a weird one.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
I don't necessarily want to end it here. I feel like the momentum was just killed.
Yeah, no, I feel it was, but you were summarizing what you felt about the internet and how it's affected you.
So
I think we'll do that with me and Matt.
Yeah.
When he comes
So,
back
like,
in.
you know, it's just like I said, my relationship with the idea of porn, like, mind you, like, this episode was a bit more batshit than I was expecting. I didn't get to talk about everything I want, and, like, I know sometimes listening to things, it can be a bit frustrating, but, you know,
yeah,
we're not here to take things too seriously. It's literally just a conversation. But
look, yeah, I feel like a little guilty for almost infringing on this.
Oh, hey, there's always room to grow. Like, the whole point of this thing was to grow, you know. Just
look,
see what,
if you want a third voice, I'm
you know,
I'm
it
up.
was never limited to that. But it's just to summarize, like, you know, my feelings with social media, like, just false advocation, my relationship with the internet, like, it was kind of okay. Like, I didn't do anything nefarious. And then when I had enough of it and tried to get a social life, but there's a lot more, and I feel like a lot of the things we've talked about today, they could be conversations in themselves. Like, call this an index of things we'd want to come back to.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing, like, I've been trying to do is change my relationship with the internet. Like I said, whenever I'm editing, I'm not listening to podcasts, I'm not doing anything, I'm literally just researching how to do things. So, like, I'm not just, watching stuff just for the sake of watching stuff and getting distracted, because I'm trying not to let it just be my tool for procrastination now.
Yeah, you're trying to turn it into more of an active tool.
Yeah.
And, in doing so, you're going to change your perspective on the internet, or in regards to the internet. My attitude with it, I mean, most of the time I just use it as a tool for communication, or
I'd be
sometimes
the same.
I fall into the habitual boredom. But it's a lot of communication and entertainment. And at the same time, I've had a lot of unintentional happy accidents in education. And it always depends on where you're looking with the internet. And kids and people are curious, so they're going to go every which way. But I feel in the past couple months in particular that the data collection on my person in regards to my app usage and the people I like, the internet's like, oh, you like kind of wholesome people, so we're going to give that to you. But like even some of the funniest stuff I've never found, but like I found like some great creators on TikTok that are there for, just an expression of fun and wholesome attitudes, like
because.
Yeah, I was talking to Matthew about how since going on TikTok, I've learned a lot about comics, because there's people on that are really passionate about comics.
And you say that kind of just kickstarted that passion in you as well.
And it's one of the things I loved about TikTok is that there's a side of TikTok in regards to sexual well-being and sexual health that I find just I'm kind of enamored with sometimes. I'm just like, I thank God this exists. And it's also allowed me to kind of, I don't know, be educated on the other side of relationships, like how women feel in regards to, more general speaking, but like, you can't speak for everybody.
It's important.
But it's important because it's offered a little bit of the female perspective in my life in regards to dating and sexual well-being, and it's really helpful. And it's also created this little avenue for me and my girlfriend to have these in-jokes with each other where we're just sending each other TikToks back and forth. And some of them are just, fall off your chair hilarious, But my usage of the internet, it's rarely used as a helpful tool, because I'm anxious and I'm a procrastinator, so I'm like, fuck. But I use it as communication and a resource for entertainment.
My relationship with the internet, like I kind of said before, I mean, I'm not highly into the internet or like rely on it much. I mean, I think one of the things I would like to probably change is the fact that when I feel like I don't do anything, like I'm not doing anything, I would probably, like, let's say I should be able to be doing something, but I'm watching a YouTube video, but then I see in the suggested that a video that is a continuation or a more elaborate in-depth thing on what I just watched, even though I basically got the quick notes of what I just of what this situation, I still have that small like bit of push to keep listening to or like watching stuff and constantly watching, even if it means absolutely fucking nothing to me. So if I was to change anything, it would be the fact that I don't want to be feeling like I'm using my like time up with just fodder that's nothing. But there's also like, again, I like a lot of the internet. I mean, the researching part of it, the fact that you can look up anything, there's a benefit to that. There's obviously negatives towards it. If you have too much information online, then you could cause information problems. But I think it's for me, anyways, I would say because of how I use it, it's overall beneficial. But I understand there's so much addiction that goes into it. Like, I mean, for example, when I was just talking about the YouTube watching video stuff, I still feel like I could easily get so fucking like stuck in to a certain thing that's problematic. I mean, even with Reddit, the moment you start kind of scrolling, it's like that is the one part of the internet I wish was not there anymore. I wish we actually had shitty UIs so I didn't like continue looking at stuff.
Yeah, because a more friendlier UI means more engagement.
Yeah.
And you want to execute more self-control in regards to that, which I totally relate to. I suffer from that myself.
Yeah, but if you're also coming here for informative shit, what the fuck are you doing here? It's just three dudes just talking about stuff where we don't have any points to make. Yeah, like, yeah, we grew a tumor and now he's stuck with us. But, like, you know, it's just, you know...
They took my mic.
Yeah, he sponsored, I should say. I forgot to disclose that last episode as well. But it's just, you know...
Thank you to Audible.
Not sponsored. But it's just, like, you know, this is just... I feel like we should elaborate, like, you know, people come in here, it's like, you said you had to start, you want to talk about the internet, but you didn't talk about the things I wanted to talk about, or you brought up stuff I was interested in, but you didn't talk about. Well, fuck you. Like, again, like...
This is for us. Nobody else. Go away.
Yeah, fuck you, I'm done.
Wow, that was a bang.